Hello, hello, hello. Welcome and welcome back. We've done it. It's day 30 of the free Get Ready for Change 30-day challenge. A check off complete. Okay. You're done after today. So, the first thing I want to do is our statements. We're going to move into our prompt so that you can go ahead and be done with this challenge and move on to the next phase of life. And we'll also have our final workshop for today, the last day of this workshop extravaganza that has been going on for the end of the 30-day challenge. If you didn't catch them, make sure you go back while they're still up because they will not always be up, but you will be able to download the workshop presentation, and I will let you guys know exactly how to do that at the end of this video. So, let's go ahead and move into our statements. I'm not even gonna like share the screen to get them going. We're literally gonna jump in. Okay. So, today's daily affirmation, let's just go ahead and start there. I am excited by life and my days of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I like that. Okay. And I'll always go ahead and read all of them one more time just to make sure we got them after we write them. So today's daily appreciation. I am proud of myself. I am proud of my commitments and passion. Gratitude. Ooh, I am grateful to find opportunity anywhere and motivation in any moment. Yeah, I like these for today. They seem very fitting, especially with today's workshop theme. So, today's daily affirmation for day 30 of the free Get Ready for Change challenge is I am excited by my life and my days of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I am excited by my life and my days of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I am excited by my life and my days of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Great. Okay, so the daily appreciation for day 30 of the Get Ready for Change 30-day challenge is I am proud of myself. I am proud of my commitments and passions. I am proud of myself. I am proud of my commitments and passions. I am proud of myself. I am proud of my commitments and passions. Great. Okay. So the gratitude for today, the 30-day or day 30, Get Ready for Change 30-day challenge. On day 30, our gratitude is I am grateful to find opportunity anywhere and motivation in any moment. I am grateful to find opportunity anywhere and motivation in any moment. I am grateful to find opportunity anywhere and motivation in any moment. And those are our statements for today, our daily mantra. We can just say all three of these together, maybe three times today, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or when we wake up and go to bed, or when we're getting ready for the morning and getting ready at night, whatever, just setting up a time for you to just say these mantras to yourself. And you can always combine all of your 30-day mantras into a mantra for your guided meditation. If you didn't see that, that was day That was day 29 yesterday. Make sure to watch that if you want to figure out how to create your own guided meditation. You can use your daily affirmations inside of it to create a mantra for yourself. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's daily prompt. And I will go ahead and just share everything with you guys. So I will go ahead and just share the prompt, and then we'll go back over the workshops that have been happening this week and the final workshop for today, which is Love Being You, Love Living Life. And this is more of a podcast style workshop. We're not going to be really sharing any slides for this one. It's really just all about engaging and listening in the not only the anecdotal story that I have to go with how I even learned to love being me and living my life, but also just the lessons that we've gathered over the last 30 days that help us to do this as well. So, today's daily prompt for day 30 of the free Get Ready for Change 30-day challenge is be proud of me. Write a letter of appreciation to myself about this proud moment. It's more than okay to celebrate myself and my commitments to only me. So go ahead, take your time writing this prompt down, really understand it, soak it in. If you need to, definitely go ahead and complete analysis versions 1 and 4 to help you sort of get a move and groove into this prompt. But honestly, it's all about what you feel you need to hear and want to hear in order to feel appreciation for yourself and feel proud of yourself. And it's definitely why I added those a mantra of being appreciative of yourself. It wasn't originally a part of the daily mantra session or section of each day. At first, we were just doing a daily affirmations and daily gratitudes. And then I added the daily appreciation because I was like, it's kind of hard to get into the groove of something if you're not used to it, especially something that really touches deep down on who you believe you are and what worth and skill and value you have in the world. And that's really what appreciation does for you. It helps you understand who you are, your value, and why you are so special and great and unique. All right. As we just kind of write this down a little bit more, because I do know it's a bit longer, so I'll give you guys just a bit more time to write it down. I do want to go ahead and mention that Um, one of the main ways that most people go into loving themselves and being themselves is being in a situation that either makes them completely feel the opposite or long so hard for that self and that self love. So sometimes, or usually, honestly, you're going to be in a pretty down position when you decide, okay, you know what? I can't take this anymore. I need to do something that is living my life for me and loving me for me. So we may dive into things that feel like just the past or that feel like I don't even want to have to deal with that. Like, I just want to deal with it later. But it's really essential to deal with it now. Otherwise, you're not actually going to deal with anything. Like, you have to get through this to move through the change, to move through the next portion of life. Okay. And if you are done writing that prompt, I'll actually leave it up here for the first 5 minutes or so, just to give everyone some time to think about it. And then I'll stop sharing my screen and we'll just go straight into the workshop, like even more. Okay. So, one thing I will go ahead and actually show you guys is all of the workshops that we did do for the past week. And I do believe there was definitely enough time so far to kind of write down that prompt. If you didn't get it written down, you can always go to Pampered and Luxed on Instagram and write down that prompt. It's definitely already posted, so you can go see it literally right now if you're watching live and you didn't get to finish writing that prompt down. Okay. So, the first day of this workshop extravaganza, we went over how to get the most out of any journal prompt that you use using the Get Ready for Change analysis, the journaling analysis process that I came up with when I was just trying to figure out how to learn more about myself and dive deeper into myself to better enhance my life and prepare myself for the future. So that is the process we went over on day 24. If you want another day during this 30-day challenge that we also used it on, it was day 18. So definitely check those 2 days out to really get a better understanding. For day 25, which was the second day of this workshop extravaganza, we did how to make your own worksheets. I showed you guys how to make your own worksheet using the mini workbook that I gave you guys on the journaling process and the journaling analysis process. And you can literally create your own worksheet sheet in any theme that you want. It doesn't even have to be related to your own personal development. It can literally be a worksheet that you just want to create to. I've used this process to create worksheets for recipe development because I just like to write down recipes and I like to cook. So you can use this worksheet and this workshop to create your own worksheet for anything. On the third workshop of this whole workshop extravaganza, we did day 26, which was confronting the imposter in you. And this was also more of a podcast styled workshop. I definitely really more spoke anecdotally and also about how you can use this challenge to help confront the imposter in you and dive more into the vision of yourself. On day 27, which was the third day of this workshop extravaganza, we created your own life vision using the analysis version 4 answers that you create from your own journaling prompts that you make or that you create from journaling prompts that you've answered from anywhere else. And once you have those journaling prompts, you basically use them to help give yourself weekly goals. From there, you give yourself a weekly checklist and daily tasks to do. And it also has different pages like a week mindfulness reset. It has a budget page and it's very all encompassing. So definitely check day 27 out because you'll be able to download the daily reset worksheet that we discussed on there. If you also want to know how to fill that out specifically, you can check out days 22 and 23 of this workshop extravaganza, the beginning of it, which was the 30-day challenge. And then the last two that we did directly before today were creating your own personalized 30-day challenge. I showed you guys how to create your own prompts for a journaling 30-day challenge, or you can just choose to analyze every single day that we've already answered prompts for and use that analysis one day at a time as your next 30-day challenge. So the what we did yesterday was I showed you guys how to create your own guided meditation. This was on day 29, the sixth day of the whole workshop extravaganza. And on, like I said, on the fifth day of the workshop extravaganza, we did creating your own personalized 30-day challenge. And then today, we are just diving more into understanding how to actually love being you and love living your life. So, with that being said, I do want to start off with saying that we're kind of picking up from the bit of my story that I shared on the imposter syndrome workshop. So you can definitely watch that before this if you're like, wait, what is she talking about? I shared a lot of my journey there with this specific category of life. Really, I call it the literally the get ready for change sort of situations or experiences that happen. And one of these experiences definitely was part of being in college. And while I was in college, there were definitely, I was speaking a lot on day, I just said what day the imposter syndrome video was, day 26. I was speaking a lot on day 26 about how um, I was just choosing to follow a journey and a path that other people put me on and that other people told me was what I was meant to do, even though it wasn't fulfilling me all the way, even though I was being burned out constantly, even though I didn't feel like I even knew myself, honestly, not all the way. I felt like I did, but I didn't feel like I knew how I was going to be able to exist wholly and be in the world wholly. Like it wasn't clicking for me. Things were just very overwhelming, very upsetting, very confusing. And anytime life is in that state, in those moments, in those feelings, especially when it's the consistent main homeostasis feeling, I know for me that there isn't something going right at the moment. There's something that I need to shift and change the way that I'm moving in the world, the way that I'm behaving with myself that will actually realign me and make those better. So, I want to talk about one of the things that made me realize that weren't just those feelings, because those feelings can come up and sometimes you may have been used to shoving them aside so much that you don't even realize that it's something to tell you something. The feelings are a thermometer to let you know what's going on so that you can adjust your temperatures in life and your actions in life as necessary. That was one of the main things. Another thing that let me know that I wasn't necessarily in alignment with where I saw myself going is the more deep certain relationships and friendships got, the more I realized that these people and the way that our interactions were happening wasn't fulfilling me and it wasn't pushing either of us in a direction that was the best versions of ourselves. So let's just say that this is more of like where the understanding of other situations can help come in. If you understand that maybe you're watching a show and you see that this person keeps going out, the main character keeps going to hang out with people who always want to go out to do things, but they're constantly saying, the main character is constantly saying, "Oh, I need to go and sit home and finish certain like work, or I need to go and finish these things." But they're always constantly hanging out with people that want to go out. They don't want to actually sit in and do certain things. That is just an example of being in the wrong sort of group of things, being in the wrong sort of mode of things. Even just it may just be an indicator that there's too much time or energy being put into one area and there needs to be a focus of energy and time into a different area. So feeling an unalignment inside your relationships and friend groups and the different social dynamics you're having, that can be an indicator that, I'm not necessarily living my life in a way that makes me feel good about being me and makes me feel good about living life. So those are just some indicators. And then I do want to discuss how I actually ended up realizing, okay, you know what? I am definitely in a rock bottom right now, and a rock bottom is no good. So there's only one way to go. And actually, there's only two ways to go. I really don't, we can go lower than rock bottom. You could end up in the subterranean, okay? But in order to not do that, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to push myself into even more of something that just doesn't feel good for me. I'm going to go ahead and realign myself and just figure out what that even looks like. Cause I think that may be where my stopping point is right now. Oh, now I've lost my notes. What did I do? Okay. So, like I was saying at the beginning, what it really takes to actually realize, you know what, this isn't for me, is being in those situations where something isn't for you. Sometimes you have to be in the wrong places to know where the right places are. And sometimes once you are in the right places, if you haven't addressed the beliefs that we talk about throughout this whole 30-day challenge, if you haven't started confronting them, telling them they don't exist, telling yourself something else that is a new truth, then you're going to end up right back in those other positions. For me, one of those positions was definitely interacting with people who had a lot of big ideas, but there wasn't really movement or motion or action. There wasn't really anything actually happening behind it. And if there was, it was because the goal wasn't actually something they wanted for themselves. It was because of what other people wanted for them. And if you're seeing something like that in other people, pause and realize that it's a reflection of what's going on internally in you. This is what people and like society has started to call projections. And these things are still true. If you're starting to realize, you know what? Everyone around me is doing this and this and this, and I don't like it. Pay attention to the ways that you do that and that and that, whatever you were mentioning and saying, and start to understand that you can change your behavior, and you'll eventually see that the people around you don't do that. It's not because those same people stop doing their actions. There may be some of that where you become sort of growth accountability buddies, but it's more so choosing to move in different ways allows you to be surrounded by other people who move in the same ways, because you're not actually going to stay in the same spot if you continue to grow or move in a different direction. You're literally going to end up physically in different spaces, in different places with different people. That's why it's important to change the beliefs so you change your actions so you can actually move forward in life. You have to go back and address the things that make you feel stuck, make you feel overwhelmed, make you feel extremely terrified about whatever vision you have for yourself or whoever you feel you are. You have to literally look those things in the face and walk through them. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck. You're going to stay living this life that feels like a lie, or it feels like it's just not enough. It's never enough. And you're going to still be in positions and be in experiences that make you feel bad about yourself. So it really does take that, okay, I'm in the wrong place to understand that you're where the right place is to go, and how to actually be aligned with that place, how to actually be able to maintain and further that placement that you're trying to even get to. Um, and then once you've decided that this is something that you're going to do, not only do you have to disregard the disbelief you have in yourself, because there is a level of disbelief and even most times mistrust in the self. Because if you had the trust in yourself and if you did believe in yourself, you wouldn't be feeling stuck behind the fears. You would say, you know what? I can go through those fears. I'll be able to figure out, like, I have the skills and knowledge to figure out whatever happens afterwards. I've already even put a plan here, a strategy. I'm good. Let me just go through with it. But when you don't have that belief in the self, that's trust in the self, you have to start to build it up with the confidence and the strength and the knowledge that you are able to do it. You do have the commitment and discipline. You do have the passion for it. You are ready for it. And that's one of the main things that doing a 30-day challenge where you take a pledge specifically to yourself can do. You're basically sitting there saying, you know what? No, for 30 days, this is what I'm doing, and you do it. And we did it. You've done this whole 30-day challenge, and to yourself, you've said, I can do this. And then you did it. You have to give yourself evidence to show that you actually did it. And the way that we do this challenge records all of that evidence for you to be able to look back on in the future, so that you can see everything that you're proud of yourself for, so that you can see everything you've affirmed yourself in, and so that you can be grateful for everything around you and in you. So that's also, this 30-day challenge is helping you learn to love being you and love living life. Once you've decided to take a journey that helps you sort of get ready for change or change your life in a way, you're going to definitely confront those fears, and those fears are going to pop up. But you also have to go on this journey of self discovery. You have to start understanding who you are, learning who you are, And you have to understand that you do change, even though there are things about you that are always still the same. There are just things that change about you. Literally every 7 years, I think it is, your taste buds all change. You could like different foods in 7 years. So, it's important to re-know yourself continuously, just like you would with any friendship, any relationship, any mother-daughter relationship, any sister, siblings, any relationship you have in life, you're gonna continue to re-know the person, reestablish the connections, and regrow the bond so that you actually understand who the person is, i.e. yourself, and you actually honor and accept who that person is in any moment throughout life. So in this way, the 30-day challenge, we've gotten to know ourselves very, very well. These are targeted questions that really help you start to understand yourself, who you are, your values, where you see yourself going. And the main portion that really helps you understand yourself is the Get Ready for Change journal analysis process. That process is something that if you do it, especially continuously, and you really use it to reroute your thoughts, reroute your actions, change your habits, you will literally look up in a week and be a different person. You'll look up in 30 days, be a completely different person. 6 months, you'll look up and you're like, oh my God, before I didn't actually think all of this would happen, but now here it is. So you have to really hone in not only on the self-discovery process, but be intentional about the type of self-discovery you're looking into. If the version of yourself is someone who you really want to make sure that the way you treat finances is way better than the last version of yourself, it would be really advantageous of you to make sure that every day for 30 days you really track your finances and you actually make sure you're balancing your books. And once a week, you make sure you attend like a personal finance workshop. There are free events. You can always literally look on events.com. I literally just did it this weekend for this upcoming weekend. You can look for free online workshops, free in-person workshops, free conferences. You can literally invest time and energy in yourself. It doesn't have to just be money and network. There are always ways to help you dive more into yourself and into your journey and figure out what the intention is behind your vision and behind your journey. So, with that, some main points and themes with this whole thing is you need to learn yourself. You're going to need to learn yourself. You have to start paying attention, observing, honoring, accepting the knowledge that you have about yourself. And instead of seeing the knowledge and going, no, never mind. I don't want to like accept that fact about me. I'm going to try to be a different way because that's what everyone else said should be, or that's what they say is supposed to be. You literally don't do that anymore. And you have to honor yourself. You have to literally, anytime the thought comes up to second guess yourself and to say, oh, maybe I don't need, you pause it and you go, oh, no, no, no. I do need what so and so. And this is what I'm doing. Like, this is everything that I need. And this is why I don't even need to explain it to anyone else because I know and I'm the one that provides it, or I know and I'm the one that makes sure that it's where I need it to be. Another point, main point is that transformation is really messy. It's not fun most of the time. You're sitting there combating these intrusive thoughts that are from your old self and trying to think these new thoughts that are your new self. You're working against your body because it's used to be doing the same things over and over, probably for years. You're literally working against everything around you because the people or places that you're currently in are from your past version of self. They chose that this environment and these people, but you're reshaping what's going on in you and what's going on around you. So it's going to be really uncomfortable and really like just kind of blobby and amorphous for a while. It's gonna look a little weird and confusing until everything sort of clicks together. And to be honest, for me, I feel I've been going on this journey more in depth for about 6 months, and over the last 2 months, I've been very, very diligent with it. And I feel like I'm just now getting to the point where I'm like, okay, they're not so blobby anymore. I see it's taking a shape, but it could still be like an octagon. It's not the triangle I thought or whatever is going on. There's a shape happening here. So I see things really clicking together for me and I feel things clicking together for me, but everything isn't really there yet. And it takes time, it takes quote unquote relapses. Like you're going to end up being the old version of yourself for a day or so again, a week or so again, a month, depending on where you are in life. And you just have to, every time you realize, no, this is not the life that I'm choosing, you literally choose to do differently. You choose to think differently and you choose to move forward and keep going. And the more that you keep going and remind yourself, this is just part of the process to like fall off sometimes, or this is part of the process to experiment and understand myself more. This is literally just part of the process. I'm understanding more, I'm making more progress. I see that my days are better in the long run. I see and feel that I'm actually making my way towards that vision. I literally am doing things in more quantity and quality now than I was before. Like you will see it, especially if you're recording it like we do with the 30-day challenge. I say record it all. I I tend to record it all, like literally all. So definitely pick a form that works best for you that you can organize, because I know physical paper isn't for everybody. You can do digital notes, you can do voice diaries, you can do video diaries. Just make sure that you record the process so that you can always refer to it, to even to understand yourself more and to understand past versions of yourself, what they were thinking, what their thoughts were, what their fears were, what things were confusing and overwhelming for them, so that you can address those, because those are now the new things to overcome and to push through. Whatever new version of you has fears and misconceptions about, the next new version of you is the version that's going to address those and actually move through those. So it definitely also takes some understanding that there are going to be different changes and there are going to be different versions, and not all of the versions of you understand every single concept. Not all of the versions of you are ready to do certain things. And it's all about accepting where you are when you are, so that you can literally see who you are when you are, and then take that person and say, okay, it was great to have you. I'm grateful for everything you've done for me, but now you're in last year and I'm moving towards something different. And to do that, I need to move through the things that really scared you and that really challenged you. And then those things won't be challenges and scary for me anymore. I'll have new fears and new things that are overwhelming, new things that confuse me, and things that I have to understand again, because you never stop learning. We're all human beings, we're all imperfect, and we all still learn every single day. One of the other main themes that I do want to make sure I discuss is trying to focus on what you would have changed in the past doesn't necessarily help you. Focusing on the things that you can do to change your present is very helpful, because you can take action in the present. Focusing on the past and trying to figure out, oh, what what could I have done differently? Yes, to a certain extent it can be helpful to help inform decisions that you make in the future that are similar. But if you're not thinking about it that way, if all you're thinking about is, oh, I should have did this, I wish I would have did this, I could, if I could go back, like I'd just do this and this and this instead. If you're so focused on that, you're not going to be able to move through your past to get to your present. You're literally stuck in the past. So how on earth are you going to get to the vision of yourself that's all the way in the future if you're not even in the present understanding what's going on with you today? So definitely understand that yes, the past has an impact on how you move in the future, but trying to stay stuck in the past and trying to harp on actions that happened in the past isn't necessarily going to push you forward or into your visions. And then lastly, the main thing that I really spoke about was your surroundings. Your surroundings are impactful and you can change even though your surroundings around you aren't, as long as you're willing to move out of those surroundings and the change is happening surrounding a move out of those surroundings, out of that sort of crowd effect of an energy or an action or a habit that is happening. If you know that the area that you live in, like most of the food is like filled with sugar because you just live in a pretty like distant, not distant, but you live in a place where like everything is kind of convenienced, packaged, and everything has extra things in it. And you know that the things that you need for your body to function well are more straight grown foods. Like you just need whole foods and vegetables, but there's just way too many conveniently packaged items around you. And every time you need something, there's only convenience. So you can't actually plan for the future. So you only ever buy what's convenient. And that includes the things that you notice your body doesn't deal with well. That means that, okay, I can try to transform inside the circle with whatever opportunity and options I do see around me, but it's only going to last for so long. So during my transformation, I make changes and habits that allow me to move out of this area, right? So definitely just paying attention to that and making sure that you understand that crowd effect or that surroundings effect. um, the last thing I want to mention is giving yourself grace. Giving yourself grace and understanding and acceptance around not just the fact that relapses back into the old version of yourself may happen, but also when you're just having a down or bad day, like understanding how to actually soothe yourself through that instead of maybe doing what you did before, which is beat yourself up and now you feel even worse. And now you didn't even actually rest or recuperate. So you need even more rest or recuperation. And now you're binging on the rest and recuperation and then you beat yourself up again. Like we don't want that anymore. So we're going to make sure we give ourselves grace and actually understand what rest and peace feels like and looks like so that when you are resting, you're actually resting and you have that energy to utilize again in other ways, in the ways that actually push you forward into your vision. And if you're looking and trying to understand, okay, how does the 30-day challenge bring back into that sort of grace effect? If you notice throughout this 30-day challenge, for me, I at first was like, oh, I make sure I come on specifically in the mornings. And I realized that this is a very social challenge, and social in the morning is not me in the first place. I need like 4 hours to actually get ready to be talking to people. So I was like, you know what? Let me make sure I don't overcommit to something that is going to drain me and end up leaving me not able to complete the challenge. I have to make sure that I have the energy, resources, the time resources to complete this challenge. So I'm going to make sure that I address what time I do it and I allow myself time to rest and actually recuperate and gain the energy to do it. So by the second week, I was like, okay, it just happens definitely by like noon, afternoon. And then the third week, I definitely needed a little bit more time. And I realized that doing them in the evening was better for me for those days. So I just committed for myself, like personally, individually. I was like, okay, I'll just do them in the evenings for this week because that's what time is working best for me this week based on not only the commitments I have, but the way that I'm like my energy is flowing and the way that I'm feeling. So that's what time we're doing it this week. And then the last week, I was like, it just happens whatever day, whatever time, not whatever day, it happens whatever time I need it to happen on that individual day. And the whole journey of 30 days literally just told me that from the beginning, if I had just said, okay, whatever day, I mean, whatever time I do it during the day, as long as I do it that day, that's all that matters, which is what I tried to originally set my goal for. And then I was like, oh, no, 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 I need to like accommodate for other people and make sure that they can watch it by a specific time. And I need to do this and this and this. And I was like, no, this is about me. This is for me. Let me do it so that it makes sense for me. And then other people can also benefit. But this is still for me. And I need to do it in a way where I don't burn out, where I don't give up, where I don't run into unnecessary issues that didn't need to be issues. And then another way that I was giving myself grace that was more just coming to terms with certain things and understanding what controllables and uncontrollables were surrounding this challenge was when Hurricane Helene popped up and took out my cities and a whole bunch of other cities around, took out the internet, took out power, and I wasn't able to do the lives for a few days, but I still was able to record. So, what I did in order to keep the promise to myself was record those individual daily challenge videos, and then I uploaded them. I only had to do three videos like that. It was day 25, 26, and 27, or it was day 26, 27, and 28. Yes, day 26, 27, and 28. Those were the days that I had to record because the Hurricane Helene didn't she didn't care. She wasn't really like, "Oh, she had a challenge going. Let me just not." No, 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 no. She wasn't doing that. So I had to give myself grace and understanding and recognize the fact that that's not something I have control over. But what I do have control over is whether I record or not, whether I still continue the challenge after the internet comes back on, whether I let people know what's going on so that they can prepare to actually tune back in once it's here again. Like I had control over certain things that still allowed me to complete my goal. And another thing I had control over and gave myself grace on was adapting the way that I set up my goal. Originally, I said, okay, my goal is to go live for 30 days, every single day for 30 days. Hurricane Helene showed me that live is not something within my control, but doing a video for 30 days every single day was within my control. I'm able to use a working laptop or computer around here. There's like definitely phones galore. I had everything charged and I know how to edit. So I was like, okay, if there is any editing that needs to be done, I can still do that. It's just not something I want to have to do because it will be a slowing point into actually putting up these videos. So giving yourself grace and understanding and accepting who you actually are, what you actually need, what actually works for you, that's one of the main goals that's going to push you through and help you start to gain the self-belief and the self-trust. Because once you know yourself, you start to believe in yourself. Once you trust yourself, you start to believe in yourself. And the things that help you trust yourself are honoring your needs and the knowledge you have about yourself. If you say, this is what I need, and then you act contrary to that, of course you don't trust yourself. But if you say, this is what I need, and then you do it, well, you're going to trust yourself. And then you're also going to believe yourself because once you do it and you feel fulfilled and more peaceful, content on a more homeostasis level, you're like, oh, of course. Yeah, I was right. Of course, I believe myself when I tell myself things. So it's all about the knowing the self, the understanding, the grace, uh, also grasping the fact that transformation is messy, understanding that the things around you affect you and you also affect the things around you, and not harping on the past. You have to be more in the present to get to the visions of the future. So that was honestly all for this Love Being You, Love Living Life workshop. I am really proud of doing this. I'm also, for me, the past 6 months have been learning the lesson of, or unlearning the lesson of perfectionism and stepping more into just authentic being and humanness and just being myself without the pressures of perfectionism in any way. Like originally, if I was trying to do this workshop extravaganza, not only would I have tried to make sure it was planned and thoroughly mapped out and everything before we even started this 30-day challenge, I would have made sure that every single slide was made before the 30-day challenge. And of course, preparation is definitely key, and I believe in it. But at this point where I am right now, I need to start. For me, it's just doing. Do, because all of the plans are already here. I just have to actually do. It's all about do. Everything's pretty outlined, everything's prepared. I need to do at this point. So that's also why preparation can help you throughout this challenge. Just preparing and writing things down and actually recording the things that you see for the vision of the future, even though you're not ready for them yet. Just going ahead and planning them, mapping them out, continuously tweaking the plans and the maps to keep things current and to where you are and who you are, because it can also show you the journey of who you are through the change that you've made to those plans and projects for the future. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's all for this workshop. I do want to, wow, we wow, that was, oh my God, stretch it out. That was day 30 of the free Get Ready for Change challenge. We finished the day 7 workshop, which was love being you, love living life. And do I have a heart message? I think my heart message is related to the planning and strategy and preparation. So just making sure that you understand what strategies you have in life, because plans, my plan for the 30-day challenge was to do it every single day for 30 days, but that's not something that I could actually control. So not only did I have to adapt the plan, I had to adapt the goal. My strategy, however, was to make sure that for 30 days, I was able to be in alignment with myself and share authentically with others. That was really my strategy. My strategy was just to show up authentically as myself in a way that allowed me to share with others. So, even to fulfill this challenge on any day, I could have literally just gone to the grocery store, had a very good conversation with one of the cashiers where I showed up authentically and shared knowledge or information that I have, or just shared part of my story. That's something I could have done that fulfilled my strategy. But I also had other strategies that I was paying attention to, like my brand strategies, my business strategies. And I was like, you know what? I have specific strategies for those as well. And for me to feel fulfillment in every part of my life is to make sure that I am always working towards the strategy that gives me the most personal fulfillment. And right now, the strategy that was giving me the most personal fulfillment was to commit to myself for 30 days, commit to something for 30 days that allowed me to live more authentically without the fear of being seen. So that was really my main strategy that I really got down to. And I utilized it inside my business strategy, inside just my social strategy for the month, inside my um, branding strategy for the month. So I was able to hone in on 4 different aspects of my life by really just focusing on one that allowed me to go the farthest. That's all. That's all for today. Thank you for joining. And I do want to go ahead and mention, if you still want the workshop, you want the whole workshop presentation for this Get Ready for Change 7-day workbook. It includes all the pages from each day where you can literally see the prompt for each day from day 24 to day 30. You can get the whole analysis process. That's what we reviewed on day 24. You'll get the how to create your own worksheet instructions. You also get the links to each of these mini podcast sort of episodes, workshops. And in order for me to do that, I have to actually wait for this one to finish loading and processing. So I'll be coming on live one last time for for this 30-day challenge. I'll be coming on live one more time tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. EST. I'll be coming on at 7:30 p.m. EST tomorrow to actually celebrate. And we'll have our celebration, and actually, I'll give you the guys all the free gifts I was mentioning. You'll be able to download this workshop extravaganza. I was just realizing that, we've been here for a while, almost an hour, and I wanted to do some really big celebration things and just kind of really hone in on what celebration is and how to feel more of it for yourself, how to actually understand what celebration looks like to you. And I want to make sure you guys get your free gifts and everything included with the link for today's workshop as well, so that you can rewatch it at your own pace if you'd like, take more notes. So I'm going to make sure that it's actually in this workshop presentation for you guys. You'll be able to download it tomorrow. So make sure you're here 7:30 p.m. EST on October 2nd, 2024. Okay. All right. Thank you for being here, for joining. I'm really proud of you. Do you understand that you just did a 30-day challenge? Like 30 every single day for 30 days. You've been following and honing in on yourself, learning more about yourself. I want to know what's one of the main things that you feel really excited to have learned about yourself. What did you feel really excited to learn about yourself? Put it down below in the comments. If you want it to be more of like an intimate interaction with the community, then definitely go over to Pampered and Lux, the website. It's down below in the description box. So you can definitely just click it and be able to go over to the blog space where the 30-day challenge sort of blogs are. You can go into the free one where it just has, well, they're all free. You don't have to pay for the blogs, but you can go into the one that's titled Get Ready for Change Free 30-Day Challenge and just put down what is the thing that you learned about yourself that you were most excited to learn. So yeah. And like I said, that link is down below in the description box. It's the same link if you want to download the daily reset or you want to download the mini workshop, not the mini workshop, the mini journaling analysis workbook. If you want to download that, they're the same links. They'll take you to the Pampered and Love website. You can download it. And then if you want to answer your question directly after, you can do that. If you are going to answer the question, we do ask that you create your own sign in and log in, because that's more of what comes with that intimate community vibe. We want to make sure that the people there are people that want to be there, are people that actually engage and, share journeys and support others who share their journeys. So with all that being said, thank you once again. And that was day 30. You did it. I'm proud. You did it. Wow. And tomorrow we're starting a whole new journey with the celebration. We get to just end this one with the celebration and start the new one with the celebration. So get ready. If you're looking for your next 30-day challenge, your next 30-day journaling challenge, make sure you're following Pampered and Luxed on Instagram, on YouTube, and you'll be able to get that. So yeah,